In this video, we're going to set up hosting with SiteGround. I think that SiteGround is the best discount hosting service available for WordPress. And they offer great friendly customer support. In this video, I'll show you how to properly set up and configure your hosting, as well as set up and configure WordPress so that your site will be off to the best start possible. It's really important to have WordPress configured properly, so you're not going to want to miss this section. To be sure that we're on the same page, use the sponsored link below this video to sign up for SiteGround. If there are any special deals or promotions, I'll be sure to include those below also. Using the sponsored link costs you nothing extra, might actually even save you some money, and it provides me with compensation so that I can provide this free tutorial series. So let's go ahead and take the first step in building our website by setting up hosting and configuring WordPress.
So to get started with SiteGround, just go ahead and click the sign up button on their homepage, and you can see the plans that they've got here, and these guys are really great. They don't give you anything extra that you don't need, and they provide a really great service. Plus, I found their support to be amazing and really nice and friendly. And then they also, what I like about these guys is they show you what the price goes up to. Some other hosting companies try to trick you by just showing an introductory price, and you think that it's that way forever, but it's not. And I think that for most people, the startup standard price here is going to be just fine. If you need additional space and your site starts growing really fast and you get a lot of visitors, you can very easily move up to another hosting plan, so no problem. So just go ahead and click Get Started. And then if you want to register a new domain, you can do that here, and that's included free on sign up. And if you already have a domain, then you can enter it in here, and it'll give you the instructions to forward that domain information to your new server. But let's go ahead and just create a new domain. I mean, it's free after all. And then just click Proceed. Okay, then just go ahead here and fill out all of your billing information. There are a couple of extra things down here. We've got domain privacy, which is $1 a month, and this will hide your personal information from your Whois site, so we'll have generic information. That way your phone number and your address aren't online. I think that's a good idea and a good thing to do, and it's really not that much money to add. And then you've got HackAlert monitoring, which will monitor your site for malicious code. And unfortunately, that has kind of become an issue recently. So that's I would say that either one of those are optional. I recommend putting both of them on. I think it's just good protection for yourself, but you can skip those if you choose. And then just go ahead and click Pay Now. So then after signing up for your account, you're going to be asked to verify your order, and they may have you either do an online chat or give you a call on the phone. And this is just part of the great security measures that SiteGround takes to make sure that your credit card information isn't being stolen and that you're a valid person. I mean, SiteGround really takes security seriously, so that's really important. You're going to receive 2 emails. One of them that looks like this, and that's going to have the username to use to log into the SiteGround area, which is different than your WordPress website, and then the password that you created during login. And then the second email you'll get is if you registered a new domain name, they're just going to ask to verify the information that you filled out is accurate, so that they've got accurate information about who registered that domain name. So then let's go ahead and get started, and we do that by opening up this email here and clicking to log into the customer area. And then I've already signed in once here, so it's already filled out my information, but you'll just have to enter in your information and the password that you created and then click Sign In. So here we are on our hosting company's panel. So then to get started, we want to go to My Accounts. And then this has all of the information about the domain name that we signed up for here on the bottom, as well as the other information about our hosting company and email, if you want to use email on your domain. And to get started, we go to cPanel. So this here is the cPanel. There's not really much you need to do here. The only thing we really need to do right now is install WordPress on our computer. So to do that, we can either click on WordPress Auto Installer here or down here. So let's go ahead and click on that. And what's great about this installer is that it's going to install WordPress correctly. It's going to make sure that everything's configured just right for what you need. So let's go ahead and just click on Install. So we can go ahead and set up our protocol here. So that's whether it's HTTP or HTTP www or HTTPS or HTTPS www. So that's really a preference that you're going to have, is whether you want the www to appear or not. So in this case, I'm going to have it not appear. I'm just going to use the default. And then you want to choose the domain name that you want it to be installed on. I only have one domain on this account, so it's just going to install directly to that. And this is if you wanted to have it installed on a separate directory so that your main WordPress install was not at your main URL. I don't recommend that. For most people, you're just going to want it right at your regular URL, so we're just going to leave that alone. And then you want to fill out this information here, and it's going to auto-enter it into WordPress as part of the install. So we've got our site name, and then you do need to give your site a description. And you want to make that something related to what your website is about. We do not want to enable multi-site, so don't worry about that. And then we want to set up the admin account, and this is going to be for the WordPress setup. And again, I want to recommend that you use a robust name here. You don't want to use something like admin. You want to use something creative that somebody isn't going to be able to guess easily, because unfortunately there's hackers out there, and they will try every basic username, and they will try every basic password and every common password and other password combinations. So you really want to use strong username here and a strong password. And then building websites, I definitely recommend that you use a password storage system of some kind. I personally use LastPass, so you can consider using LastPass, but there's other ones like 1Password also that you can use. But definitely you want to use something robust. And then you want to enter in an admin email here. I recommend using an email address that's separate from your website for now, and then you can change it to your email address at your own domain name later on if you want to. But for right now, use something that you have access to. And then select your language. And then this first plugin, I definitely recommend that you install, which is the limit login attempts, and that will help protect your website from hackers trying to log in and just use every single password and username combination. So that's a good one to have. And then we don't want to install a theme because we want to be able to pick our own theme. And the advanced options you don't need to worry about. And then just click install. And we've got this little data bar here that's showing us that the installation is taking place. And there we go. Now we know that the installation has been completed successfully, and it's been installed on our domain that we've created. And we've got this link here, which is to the administration area for our new website. You'll know that your site is up and running when you get an email that looks something like this. It'll have your unique link to log into your website, which will be your URL, and then WP-admin, and then the username that you created when you signed up, as well as the password. So then if you used something like LastPass, you're going to want to just enter in your username and information. I've actually already logged into the back end of this site once, so it's already saved. So I can just do autofill and then log in. And here we are. This is the WordPress dashboard, where we're going to do all of the work on building our website right from this area here. We've got a place here where we can add posts. So this is for like blog posts. Media, this is where you upload pictures. You can also upload pictures directly from the posts or the pages section. Pages, where you're going to create web pages. Comments, for users that use your site that make comments. Appearances has a lot of the different settings for the look of your website. Plugins, so this is where you add in the additional plug-in software that you might want to use, and we'll be adding some plugins to our website as we build it. This is the user section here, where you can add users, change your password. You can add various different levels of users. They don't all have to be administrators. They've got administrators, editors, writers, all the way down to just subscribers to your website. So that's the user section. There's the tools and then the settings, and you'll find most of the settings for many of the plugins you install, as well as general settings for our website will be in here. And the super cacher item here is something that SiteGround installs on your website. It's a plugin to help your website run faster, so I definitely suggest leaving that there. So the first thing we're going to want to do is clean up some of the added things on our website that we don't need. So one of those things is going to be the plugins. So we'll click on Installed Plugins. And we're just going to remove the extra items we don't need. Akismet is used for taking away junk spam. You do need to sign up and get an API key for that. I'm going to leave that on there because usually within a few months of having your website, if you have an active website with a lot of people commenting on your website, you're definitely going to need to activate this and get this running. It's probably the best way to keep spam comments from popping up on your website. So we're going to leave that there. This Hello Dolly plugin, not really useful. So we want to have a nice, clean, neat site. So we're going to get rid of that. I'm just going to do delete. And then you want to say, yes, delete these files. And then we're going to delete the Jetpack from WordPress. I haven't found this to be a terribly useful plugin. You might find it a useful plugin, but for right now, we don't need it. You can always install it later. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. Okay, then there's this limit login attempts plugin. This is actually a really great plugin to have. It helps keep your site safe by limiting the number of times that somebody can attempt to log in with a wrong password. That does include you, so just make sure you don't lose your password and you've got it in there. But this is a really great plugin to have. It's one of the sort of basic things you can do to keep hackers off of your site, and it's already installed and loaded on your site, so that's great. We're going to leave that there. And we're also going to leave the SiteGround Cache Press plugin, which will help your site run faster on the SiteGround servers. We're going to leave that there. Next thing we want to do is we want to go to the pages, and part of every WordPress install is usually a test page, but actually on this install there isn't. Okay, so now we want to go up to the posts here, and there's a post that's been put in by SiteGround, and actually even WordPress normally has a standard post that's put in here. And we just want to trash this because we don't want anything extra on our site. We want everything clean, neat, and ready to go. Comments usually has something in most WordPress installs, but it looks like SiteGround for this install has already removed the default comment that's put in by WordPress, so that's great. And the next thing we want to do is to check our permalinks. And in a future version of WordPress, they're supposed to make this happen automatically. But for right now, we need to make sure that we check this setting here. You want to check post name. And so that's going to make what they call a pretty link for our website. So all the posts and pages are going to have your URL, and then they're going to put in automatically the name of the post or page that you have. And this is going to help with your search engine optimization. So we want to make sure we check that, and you want to make sure you click Save Changes at the bottom. All right, the next thing we want to do is make sure that our site has a name set up for it. So we're going to go to General, and we give it a site title. So this site is the Make a Website Course site, and then you can give it a tagline here. WordPress address and the site address. We've got our email address. This is going to give us notifications from our plugins. Later on, we're going to install a backup plugin that's going to use this email address, as well as things like comments for our website. So if you want to change this from the default admin at makeawebsitecourse.com, I actually recommend that you do that. You might want to, especially in the initial stages, until you set up this email address, you might want to just use your standard email address. So for right now, until I configure this email address, I'm actually going to use my address just to make sure I get all of the messages that come in from my website. Okay, man, that's all the changes we're going to make here. So we're just going to go down and click on Save Changes. Okay, and one other thing we want to do is we want to remove some of the extra themes. Again, in an effort to keep our website simple and easy to use, we don't want to have extra themes that are going to be asking us to update them all the time or just potentially causing issues with our site. So we're going to delete all of these themes. It does take a little bit of time to do this. Fortunately, they don't have a delete button right here. You've got to step into one. So I'll show you how to do one or two of these. So what we want to do is we want to activate the 2015 theme. This is a theme made by the WordPress developers, and oftentimes these 20-something themes, as they've been known throughout the years, are a good base theme to have on your website. In case you've got a problem, you might want to switch to this as a default theme. So we're going to leave this theme here, and we're going to delete the rest of these themes here. So in order to do that, you're just going to click on Theme Details, and you're going to click on Delete, and then say OK. And I'll show you one more. That's the same process. Just click and delete and say OK. And then just go through and clean up all the rest of these themes except for the 2015 theme or the 2013 theme. Doesn't matter which one you leave on there. And there we go. Now we have all of the basic configurations set up for WordPress.
In the next video, I'll introduce you to a great WordPress theme. I'll then show you how to install and configure that theme on your website.